thank you for being on the show
Thank
today.
you for having me.
Girl, you my kind of girl, because see, we talk like the same thing to our husbands. Okay, so now tell us about you and your husband. How long have you been married?
Oh my goodness, I've been married to Scott Allen McCrary.
Yes.
Most folks call him Hey Pastor.
But you got a name for him. When you say his name, it's like music.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He is a phenomenal man. I've been married to him for 21 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes. Long time.
Yes. How did you meet?
I met him at the mall. I was in ministry school. I was in seminary in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the Lord had told me, he said, you're going to move to Oklahoma. I'm going to do several things in your life. And I said, God, I don't want to pastor by myself. I want it to be balanced, and I wanted to have a covering. And I happened to meet him. His friend was trying to talk to me, and I have a policy. I don't deal with celebrities.
Oh, wow.
You know, in a romantic kind of way. That's not my grace. I was a church girl. And he met me, wanted nothing to do with me, because I was a church girl.
Wow.
And he was still trying to figure out what he was doing with his life. And he began to hang out with me and his friend, who called himself liking me. And it ended up that when his friend had to go out of town, I had a business meeting and I needed to take an escort, and I didn't know anybody. And he said, well, I'll go. And before I realized, I said, I need your telephone number. He said, I already put it in your purse.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's what he did.
Presumptuous.
And after that, I went to my room in my house and I poured out my purse, and I was doing a happy dance, because I knew the moment that I saw him, the Lord said, I'm going to cause him to ask him to have you to be in his life for the rest of your life. And I said, so he the one? He's the one I've been praying for. He's the one I've been interceding for. He's the one I've been waiting for. And the Lord said, yes. He said, but you don't say anything. I'm going to have him to ask you. And 45 days later, he proposed with 7 carats and a baby. I love you. I'm going to live holy, and I'm going to represent you and take care of you and your son and your mother for the rest of my life.
45 days.
45 days
Come on
later.
now, girl. And y'all still together 21 years?
Yes. It was crazy is we grew up around the corner from each other. We lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but we grew up in a city called East Cleveland, Ohio. He lived about 2 blocks away from me. We went to the same high school, had the same friends. When I was out doing whatever it is I was doing when I could get away with it in my mama's house, he was in the same location. But we never met each other until we lived around the corner from each other again in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So God had orchestrated our footsteps, and so when he needed to call home and verify, is she all right? Is she really who she says she is? He found out that I was, and so I was grateful for that testimony.
Well, how do you keep it together for 21 years?
I can't say that on Christian television. You can't say that. You know what? Well, the first thing I do is I make sure that we always communicate. We have conversation that you can say in church, and we have conversation that maybe our children would be a little bit embarrassed about. But you know what? It's so funny. My kids, they're like, oh God, here they go. You know, we just have this thing, you know, a lot of our communication is unspoken communication, which is a little odd for us. We kind of know each other, you know.
I think that unspoken communication is some of the deep, deep communication.
Yes, it is. But he's my best friend. I often tell him, I said, you know what, God forbid we ever get divorced, I'm never going to leave you. You're going to never leave me. Your new wife going to have to deal with me. She's going to be married to all 3 of us, because I'm never, ever going to leave your life. He's just a great guy. And, you know, one of the things that I enjoy watching about the other couples, they talk about divorce is not an option. We talked about divorce 3 times and went to court. But we recognized that when we gave up the right to be right, then everything else just fell to the ground. And we looked at that commitment and said, I'm going to be committed to the commitment, even when I don't feel like the commitment is committed to me. And with that, we have journeyed through, and we have conversations that make people cry, that make people laugh, and we're just transparent, and we're just honest about who we are. We don't lie to each other. We don't play games with each other, and we hold each other's hand through the rough times, the good times, and we just enjoy life. We do everything together. Ministry, when you see him normally, you see me. And the only reason why he's not here is because he's a corporate guy, so they called him away. But otherwise, he would be right here, joined at the hip.
Yes. Now, you know, sometimes even in ministry, and it's not an indictment, it's just an observation. A lot of times you'll see the minister or even a business person, they go on and on about their spouse, but then you look at their spouse and their spouse is looking like this. And it's like, okay, I'm not convinced about your story. But there's a way that you can handle situations like that. Like I always say, whatever I say about my husband, and I always speak good things about my husband, it's not the first time he's heard it. And if I do it in public, he already knows it in private. And so I don't say anything derogatory, I've never said anything derogatory to him because he's my best friend. He's my choice.
Yeah. And he's a product of your intelligent choice. You thought that through.
Yes, I did.
So no need to go back on it now.
No. I don't air his dirty laundry.
And that's so good.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what? One of the challenges I have seen, even in counseling, so many couples, whether they be in ministry, in business, or whatever, many have lost the art of covering for one another. Many Christian women, we ask for, God, give me somebody to cover me, but you forget the responsibility as a wife to cover him.
Now, you all have something going on soon.
Oh gosh, yes. Reset for Romance.
Oh.
It's going to be the Faith Church of Atlanta. I pastor a church here in the Norcross area. As a matter of fact, we just moved into a new building, so one of the things that we're doing to celebrate that is celebrating the first ministry that God ordained, which is marriage. And so we're hosting an event for married, for engaged, and for married-minded people.
Oh, wow.
And it's Marriage Matters. It's our marriage ministry at our church, and it's called Reset for Romance, and that's going to be March 20th at 7 o'clock.
How important is it to reset anyway, and how often should you reset?
You need to reset every single day.
Hello.
You know, you have to do it all the time. If it's simple things like writing love notes, one of the things that my husband, I'm a glamazon, so my husband knows, don't touch my makeup, but I went out and I bought my favorite color, and I'll write him a love note on the mirror, or he'll write me a love note and put it in my car. You know, it's very, very important that you do things just to let him know you still got it, baby.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Every man needs to know that. And you know, when you make him feel like $1 million, even if he doesn't have $1 million, he will treat you like $1 million.
Yes, he will.
And so we just really want to take that time to teach people how to spice it up and still be holy. You don't have to compromise to be holy and have a fulfilling relationship.
Right.
And that's the thing. We don't want people to go through marriages, specifically in the church or in Christendom, and decide, well, we're going to pretend like we're happy. No, we want to teach people how to really be happy, date each other. If you enjoy jazz, if that's not your thing, that's fine. But me and my husband, we go out, we listen to jazz, we still dance together. He still gives me impromptu picnics. We do whatever it takes. And those are the things we're going to be sharing, among other things. Talk about real topics for real relationships.
Yes, I love it, and I love the fact you're a beautiful woman. And how important is it to take care of yourself after you get married? Because I see so many women and men, after they get married for so long, they stop taking care of themselves.
You know what? I think the thing of it is that you get lost in life, and you always go and put, not should often say always, many times people put themselves last with children. I know me, I've got 4 adult kids, 2 grandkids, and we put ourselves last. I've learned to put me first because I want him to be the one that says, "Oh, baby."
Yes, ma'am.
And I always want to be the one to say, daddy. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds funny,
right.
but that's our relationship.
Yes.
And so I want him to want me. I don't want him to want something that's coming on the side that the enemy uses to try to destroy what God put together so gracefully. So whatever it takes, he looks good for me, I look good for him, and then in the middle, we do some other things.
All right now. And one thing I talk about in my book is I tell folks I'm my husband's wife, but I'm Betty Boop too.
Baby.
Betty Boop.
Yes.
Betty Boop makes sure that she looks good for him.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that you have to look good 24 hours a day, especially when you have children.
But don't be scary to them. They'll be like, you want that.
Listen, if you can look in the mirror and say, then you know it's even worse for him.
You know what, really quickly, when I went through, a couple of years ago, I went through 3 strokes and a brain cancer scare.
Wow.
And I could not always look my best. My teeth began to shift. My hair began to fall out. I was very, very stressed out. But you know what? One thing he used to always tell me, he would come on my bedside and he would pray for me. And he would say, no matter what, you're still beautiful. And those moments make me remember that when they gave me the diagnosis that you're totally healed and there's no more strokes, and you don't have to worry about cancer anymore. I made it my business. Every day is going to count. And when he wakes up in the morning, if I got to wake up before he does, baby, I'm going to make sure there's some lip gloss, there's some eyelashes, there's going to be something. Because I want him to leave my house or leave our office saying, that's who I cannot wait to get home to. It's real simple. And he does the same thing. So instead of him putting on sweats every now and then, in the middle of the day, if he's off, he'll come and he'll put on, I call it a Rico Suave outfit. He'll put on a suit, smell good, put on some fly shoes, because I'm a shoe girl too.
Okay, all right.
And he'll say, come on, baby, let's just go get a hamburger. Very overdressed, but I know he didn't do it for the hamburger shop. He did that for me.
Yes. And we are climate setters as women.
Yes.
So when he comes home from work, it's very important that we create an atmosphere where he wants to be home and not have to circle the corner because he doesn't really want to be at home.
That's right.
If any place I want my husband, I want him to be at home. And for 31 years, my husband and I both say, when he gets home from work, time is too short.
That's it. And you can't get it back. It is such a gift, and most people don't realize the value and the currency of that gift.
Yes, yes.
I'm glad you do.
Girl, I do. I'm glad you do, girl. I could talk to you forever.
Well, I hope we get a chance to talk again after this.
Yes, I love it. I hope that you have learned some information. Keep it saucy, ladies.
Yes.
Keep it saucy, men. Don't let yourself go, but take care of yourself. If you don't do it for you, do it for your spouse. Men are typically visual. So ladies, keep yourselves up. Look good. Look the best you can. Look like the girl that he married. For the men, take care of yourself. Don't just let yourself go, but take care of yourself, because although we say men are visual, women are visual too. And so we like to see nice things as well.
Clean
and
fingernails.
so, yes. And she said, and clean fingernails. I love it. I love it. Put on you some perfume, put on you some cologne, and just smell good, look good, and just keep it saucy, saucy. And I hope you've enjoyed this. We're going to go to Val Johnson, and she's been our songstress tonight, who has rendered us beautiful music. And this is my new friend. Tyear McCrary, and then our couple here, Pastor and Mrs. Sunny. And I want each of you to give real briefly something that you can say, an encouraging word to our couples, whether it's to couples or whether it's to those that are contemplating marriage, those that are single. Because when I was dating my husband, I didn't know, and when you don't know, there's fear. Because the intent is to make your relationship work. Nobody wants to go through a divorce, but so we decided to make it work from day one. We decided that we're going to keep our relationship like day one. I'm going to start with you, Pastor.
I just wanted to give an encouraging word to our singles. I know that Valentine's is coming right around the corner, and that can be kind of hard time, because a lot of times when you're not involved with someone, you kind of begin to second guess yourself and kind of feel like you're doing something wrong, or your time clock is ticking. I want to say this. Listen, just as Ruth didn't look for Boaz. She was tilling the field when she found the man of her dreams.
Yes.
So, God is just wanting all of you. At this time, if he doesn't have someone in your corner, it's not because he doesn't love you as much. It's not because he doesn't have someone in store for you. It's because at this time, he wants all of you for him. He's being selfish. So I encourage all of the singles who may be watching and thinking, why ain't in no relationship? It's okay. You're in a relationship with God. This can be a distraction sometimes. Look at this woman of God. My God.
That's right.
Come on, somebody. Oh. She can surely be a distraction. At times where I'm supposed to be studying, sometimes I just want to date my wife and just leave the house and fill the tank and go somewhere. But I have to be focused on God. So you don't have that distraction right now. So in this time, spend that time as a Kairos time, that God's timing, and just get a closer walk with him, and don't compromise who you are. Don't settle for stupid. In this season, as Valentine's is coming around, flowers does not equate to pearls. Come on, don't throw your pearls to swine. So I just wanted to encourage you. We love you and excited about everything you're doing, but come on, singles, just trust God.
Okay.
Amen.
All righty. Did you want to say something, or you want to pass the mic?
I think he wrapped that up real good.
All right.
You know what? I just want to encourage everybody. At the end of the day, decide what it is that you want. And if fulfillment is what you want, if encouragement is what you want, if support is what you want, make sure that you give what you want, and you will get that in return. Even if it seems as though you might be married to somebody that's a little rambunctious or wants to do the opposite, you'd be amazed what a soft answer can do. You would be amazed what submissiveness can do, and you would be amazed what the simple gesture of kindness can do, to take a hard heart and to soften it. Just remember this, the Word of God says that God has the heart of the king in his hands, and he decides which way he's going to turn. If you do it right and you build an atmosphere for love, love will manifest exactly where you build it.
Yes. Awesome word. Awesome word. Deborah.
I just want to encourage everyone to be patient. Their mate is there. God has a plan. Don't rush it. Let it unfold in His timing. And one thing that I will absolutely say, love the way you want to be loved. I can't say that enough.
Yes.
What you expect, give it, because it will come back to you
Yes.
millions of times over.
Amen. I just want to encourage everyone to have a prayer life. If anyone asks you anything about Pamela, she's a praying Pamela. And to the singles, pray and ask God to give you comfort for where you are, as Pastor said, and allow God to show you so that you can see out of His eyes, hear with His ears, and see that one that He has for you.
Yes.
And I just encourage you to have a strong prayer life.
Okay. Well, we have run out of time here, and I have certainly enjoyed it. I would love to hear from Pastor Abdullah, but I hope you've enjoyed tonight, and we'll see you next time.